True North Reviews, True North Reviews, True North Reviews.
Hey there, welcome to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we are discussing the Idols record, Crawler. This is the fourth album from critical darling post-punk outfit Idols. I too have given my fair share of praise to this band over the years, dating back to their sophomore efforts in 2018, and deservingly so. Idols, they've captured a raw energy that I find not many other rock bands are able to achieve nowadays. However, at the risk of becoming predictable and voluminous, Idols have shifted their sights to more poetic and story-driven lyricism on Crawler. This record makes that change very obvious after the first track, MTT 420RR. Notably, Kenny Beats is back to help with production, but brooding atmospheres and swirling synthesizers mark this track. Moreover, lead singer Joe Talbot recounts a near-fatal motorcycle crash over top a tambourine that sounds like shackles, just this impending doom, complemented by a sinister and demonic outro. The way the floor toms pound on the intro track, yeah, that's enough to have me coming back despite there being a lack in explosiveness or even a full release and catharsis elsewhere on the song. In a more tried and true fashion, true to themselves, Idols sound like themselves on the cut The Wheel, which balances its peppy rhythm against sour and dissonant guitar chords. I absolutely love the frantic delivery that Joe Talbot brings to his vocal performance here. Just some of the vocalizations of The Wheel, his sporadic shouting and barking, they're commendable. Elsewhere, I love how rough around the edges The Wheel stays. Idols could have easily glossed up their sound on this record, but they like to keep things loud, especially on The Wheel when you have those cymbal crashes, the gnarly sounding guitars, and just a very abrasive sound altogether. It's great. Sadly, the amount listeners get of this abrasive sound isn't all too much. It's by the next track, When the Lights Come On, that Idols water down their sound by injecting some softer goth and post-punk, similar to what Algiers did on their record in 2020, and I also hear a little bit of Bambara in there too. If it weren't for the next song on Crawler, actually, I might have given up on this album. It's in the alternating loud and soft dynamics that the next song has to be loud, of course. It's called Car Crash. On this cut, I love the low drone and buzzed vocal filter. Keep in mind the bass and drum parts are simple, but they give this track its fiery personality. Two tracks that epitomize Idols and their personality, though, come on Crawl and Kingsnake. Both songs highlight what is essentially a trademark for the band at this point, at least a vocal trademark, as Joe typically elongates his hooks with a very aggressive tone or snarl. Kingsnake is easily the catchier of the two tunes, and its bass line reminds me a fair bit of Mercedes Marxist, another song by Idols in the past. Switching up from their past work, though, the new Sensation spotlights a refrain that has a very rhythmic feel to it. Strangely, the tune is danceable, and that's not normally a word I would use to describe Idols and their music. Regardless, the drums steal the spotlight on this track, and how the beat rolls around the entire kit. It's very pleasing to the ears how Idols mix this. And of course, with the title The New Sensation, that makes me think of INXS's New Sensation as a possible homage, but completely different song. After all, I don't think Idols are a band to do cover songs, especially one of INXS. I think I'm just seeing things that aren't there. But anyways, moving on, if you found yourself enjoying The Wheel or Car Crash, another track that will surely interest you at the very least is Stockholm Syndrome. The ringing and dissonant guitars make their return on this track. There is another pounding minimalist beat throughout the verses on drums, contrasted to a driving beat in the chorus. But at the end of the day, the hook is so good. Just Give Them Enough Rope. Rounding out a very strong front half of an album is the song The Beachland Ballroom. This track tries out a 6/8 time signature and notably a more ballad feel. I'm hesitant to call it a ballad, but it's the closest on the album to getting one. Again, one of the biggest strengths for Idols, and we've seen it on this record at least, switching songs, one being loud, another being soft, but we haven't seen it within one track, and I think the Beachland Ballroom nails it perfectly. There are delicate verse deliveries from Joe Talbot, and those just go against the strained screams of damage in the chorus. At one point, the song even cuts to nothing but hi-hat and spoken word vocals before erupting again. Unfortunately, the second half of the album doesn't quite live up to the first. Meds and King Snake are easily my picks for favorite on the back end of the record, the former in Meds having a fast-paced and distorted bass line setting the groove, and what sounds like horns are fading in and out of the song very quickly. Where things start to go wrong, in my opinion, though, is with the interludes, which I can't criticize too harshly. After all, they're about 30 seconds each, but Kalichi and Wiz are the names of them, both pointless in my opinion. Now, I appreciate that they weren't tagged onto another song and just you wanted to skip over that part to get to the song, but for Wiz especially, there could easily have been a full song written for this, and I feel like we're simply not getting it on this project. I wish we did, but oh well. But before wrapping up this review, I saved two songs that are pretty different from the rest of this album and ultimately the entire discography of Idols. They're called Progress and The End. Progress is a spacey and tripped out song, easily the most reserved on the album, whereas The End is ghastly and ghoulish with its backing vocals that sound like they belong in a heavy metal song. Couple that with vivid imagery in the lyrics thanks to very sharp and biting one-syllable word choice from Joe Talbot, and the record ends on somewhat of a high. Arguably, there's a much better pacing and stretch of songs on the front half, but Crawler still manages to sprinkle in a couple more good songs before the end, literally. If I were pressed to make a decision right now, I'd probably say this Idols record is my least favorite to have come out since starting the channel, but I'd be remiss for not praising at least their consistency in writing hard-hitting post-punk songs. Idols, they do that great every time, I think. As for now, I'm going to give Crawler a 7 out of 10. Check it out if you guys have heard about Idols before. And you know what? Maybe there's a few songs you'll enjoy from the Fave tracks down below. Anyways, there's the review for today. Make sure you guys sound off down below in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of this music, whether you agree or disagree. I'm here to engage with you guys. If you'd like to leave a like, subscribe if you're new in town. I'd appreciate that as always. Thanks for watching and have a rockin' day.